I'm really excited about helping people change habits. I've been looking at my own habits for the last 20 years, and over the last 10 years with my research and working with my patients have developed a few ways to really help people in a very simple way change habits, and that's what we're going to do together today. We're going to do a couple of step process, so roll up your sleeves and let's get started. First, look at whatever your habit is, whether it's smoking cigarettes, checking text messages while you're driving, checking your Facebook feed at dinner, and just ask yourself, what do I get from this? Not up here in your brain, but what do I get from this in my body? What's this reward? What am I getting from this? Why? Because we need to know what our rewards are before we can start to really change our habits. If we don't see clearly what we're actually getting from our behaviors, we're never going to change them. Here's an example. Somebody that I was helping quit smoking, she really started to pay attention to when she was smoking cigarettes, and she realized that they don't actually taste very good. And that helped her start to get disenchanted with that behavior, which gave her the motivation to actually change it. So that's step one. Just pay attention, rub your face in it. What do I actually get from it? Step two, this is where we're gonna come back into our bodies. We're gonna use a 4-step process called RAIN, R-A-I-N. The first one, R, is recognize. So we have to first recognize when we're caught up in a habit. If we can't recognize it, we're lost. We're going to be on autopilot doing it. So just step back. Oh, there's that habit. The A is the acceptance. Why do we have to accept that it's here? Because typically when we have an urge to act on something, that craving itself feels unpleasant, so we want it to go away as quickly as possible. So we indulge, or we stuff it, or we make it go away. We do whatever we can to make that unpleasant craving go away. So instead of trying to make it go away, we're going to paradoxically turn toward it. Oh, what does this actually feel like in my body right now? So that's the A, acceptance. 3, investigate. So we're going to put on our Sherlock Holmes cap, and we're going to get really curious. Oh, what does this craving feel like in my body right now? And we're going to dive into our bodies. So that's the investigation. I, investigate. What does this feel like in my body? And the N, very simple. We're gonna just note. We're gonna pull out our notebook and we're gonna mentally note to ourselves whatever we notice in our body. So a craving can feel like tightness, we'd note tightness. If a craving feels like restlessness, we'd note restless. And we just note this. Okay, what is this in my body right now? Okay? So R-A-I-N, recognize, allow, investigate, and note. You ready? So let's do this. Bring to mind the last time you had a real urge for whatever that was, whether it was chocolate or to check your Facebook feed when you know you weren't supposed to. And just bring that to mind. So we'll recognize, okay, here's this craving coming on. Now let's just dive into it, allow it to be there, and just allow ourselves to be close and intimate with it. Now let's get curious. What does this feel like in my body? And just note whatever your experience is from moment to moment. Is it tightness? Okay, we know tightness, tension, burning, restlessness. My mouth might be watering. And we'll just note that for a minute. You can just note it to yourself silently. And that's the process. And what you can do is you can use this process anytime you have a craving to ride it out. Whether it's a cigarette, a smartphone, or getting caught up in some crazy thought pattern. So now that you've got the steps, remember, each time you have a craving doesn't mean you have to indulge it. Instead, we can dive in and investigate what it feels like in our body. Each time we can do that, we can ride out these cravings so that they have less of a pull on us, and we're less likely to get sucked into them. So see if you can play with this for a week or so and see how it changes your life. And importantly, have fun with this. That's what the investigation is about, being really curious about our experience. Curiosity is key. Bringing an attitude of curiosity to this practice helps us be light with it and really be able to dive in so that we can ride out these cravings rather than feeling like we have to ride them out. We have to force ourselves. So try this. See how it changes your life.